Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to another one of my air frying videos. And in this air fryer recipe I'll show you how to make a wonderful crusty loaf of bread in your air fryer. Providing your air fryer food basket is big enough, there's nothing stopping you making a fantastic loaf of bread in it. You can see the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. And the link to that page and lots more is in the description box under the video. Just find and click on the word more, and that'll give you access to all the relative links for this video, including our website store products. Okay, let's get on with today's recipe. For this recipe I'll be using my large air fryer, and it's this Ninja double drawer model. If you have the same or similar model, you need to take out the crisp tray, as I need the extra depth for this loaf recipe. Now, there's lots of loaf pans you can use for this loaf of bread. These silicone ones are pretty good. They come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm sure you'll find one that fits your machine. For mine, I'll be using our very own 2-pound loaf tin, which fits this model beautifully. These are available in our website store if you want one. And once again, this is my own machine, bought with my own money. I'm not being sponsored by these in any way. Right, on to making the dough for this beautiful loaf. As always, I'll start by testing that my yeast is alive and well. First, add the sugar to the warm water and mix until dissolved. And now add your yeast to the water and give that a good mix too. Right, set that aside until it activates. If there's no change after 10 minutes, your yeast must be dead and it needs replacing. Now I'll be using my stand mixer to make mine. If you don't have a machine, this is a very easy one to hand knead, as it has a very low hydration, 55% if you're interested. Okay, it's 10 minutes later, and as you can see, my yeast is very active and ready to go. First off, I'll add the liquid to the bowl. Next to go in is the softened butter. In goes the white bread flour. Finally, add the salt. Now attach your dough hook and bring it all together. If you are mixing this by hand, add everything to a bowl, mix it all together, turn it all out onto your worktop and hand knead the dough for at least 10 minutes until you have a nice smooth dough. And if you need to, scrape down the sides of the bowl with your bowl scraper. Once everything's combined, I'll knead the dough for 10 minutes. And if you wouldn't mind guys, if you found the video useful and enjoyable, can you give the video a like by hitting the thumbs up? It really helps the channel tremendously. And while that's mixing, lightly grease a medium-sized bowl with a little oil and set it aside for now. Back to my mixer, and this is what it looks like after 5 minutes. And there you go, after 10 minutes the kneading is done. Right, whether you've hand kneaded or machine kneaded your dough, get the dough onto a non-floured surface. Form the dough into a ball. Now add the dough ball to the bowl you greased earlier. Cover the bowl. I like to use the shower cap for mine, and these are available in different patterns and colours in the website shop if you're interested. Now get the bowl into a nice warm spot. I like to use the oven with just the light bulb on. Now set your timer for 1 hour. And while I'm waiting for that dough to proof, I'll grease the loaf tin. For this air fryer recipe, I like to use lard, but if you don't use pork products, butter or a solid vegetable fat would be fine to use too. To make the top of the loaf crisp and shiny, I'll be using an egg wash, so you may as well prep that now. All it is a small egg whisked with a dash of milk until it runs nice and loose. And you can set that aside for now. Once the time's up on the first proof, turn out the dough onto a flour-free work surface. And as you can see, it's nicely risen. Now knock the dough back as shown. This simply means knock all of the built-up gas out of it. Form the dough into a fat sausage shape. There's lots of ways you can do this, but rolling it towards you as shown is probably the best way. And a very quick mention to the channel's Patreon members and supporters. I'll be giving the latest list a shout out a little later in the video. Now make sure you nip the seam together at the bottom of the dough shape. Right, once you have your dough shaped, get it into the greased loaf tin. Press the dough down quite firmly to fill in any gaps. Once you have it in the loaf tin, sprinkle a little flour over the dough. Now get it onto a baking tray. Cover it with a lightweight dry cloth as shown. Leave a couple of pleats in the cloth on top of the tin. This will allow the dough to expand easier. Now get it into a nice warm draft-free spot. Back in the oven in my case. And as far as this recipe goes, that's all of the hard work out of the way. Now let that proof for 45 minutes. Okay, time's up on that final proof. As you can see, the dough has risen nicely. All I got to do now is bake it. Don't apply the egg wash at this point, but do that in the last 5 minutes of baking. So carefully place the tin into the food basket. I would normally prefer to preheat the air fryer first, but there's not enough room to get the tin in without burning myself, as you can see. And the dough is way too tender to risk tearing it with my gloves on. Okay, turn on the air fryer and set it to bake. Make sure the temperature is set to 160 Celsius, that's 320 Fahrenheit. Now set the timer for 25 minutes. Right, once the temperature and timer has been set, you can start your machine. And while that's baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a quick shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them. And also, book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. The skeleton style oven gloves, now supporting our company name, are also available too. Just check out the links in the description box below the video for all of the equipment used in this recipe. Okay, when there's only 12 minutes left on the timer, you need to get your oven gloves on and get the loaf out of the tin. Because, and as you can see, it looks a bit anemic at this stage. Now get it back into the air fryer in what I like to call commando style. This step just allows the heat to colour and crisp up the bottom half of the loaf. Right, get it back into the air fryer and continue baking. Almost done. The last stage is to egg wash the top of the loaf. So, when there's only 5 minutes left on the timer, get it out and give the top of the loaf a good coat of the egg wash. This will give the top of the bread a fantastic colour, shine and crispness to the loaf. If you applied the egg wash at the start of the baking, it would burn and go black long before this stage, probably because of the close proximity between the top of the loaf and the fan of the air fryer. Right, back in for the last 5 minutes. Time's up and this beautiful loaf of bread is done. And it's looking fantastic. And if you were wondering, the aroma of air fried bread is exactly the same as oven baked. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I'll let that cool for about 15 minutes on the wire rack. And when I come back, I'll let you see what it's like on the inside. And as always, I'll have a taste with some of my homemade butter. I can't wait. Right, I can't wait any longer. Time to try a slice. And as you can hear, it has a very crispy crust. It has a wonderful soft light close crumb on the inside, perfect for sandwiches or toast. It's still a bit on the warm side, just the way I like it. Okay, lots of my homemade butter. Check out my video on how to make butter at home. It really is very easy and quick to make. I'll leave a link to the video in the description below. Time for a bite. And just as I knew it would be, it's absolutely delicious. And in my experience, there's no discernible difference between this and oven-baked bread. Big thumbs up for another fantastic air fry recipe, guys. And as mentioned earlier in the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are Paul Dancy, Claire A. Doe, Donald Humberson, I have no idea how to pronounce the next one, OPCR, Rick Otterstrom, Judith Glover, Sue Island, Margaret Hunt, FFW, Captain Express, Jens K3250, Bunny Frew, Sedalus Dabbler 5468 and Dirty South SOHK. Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.